guys, welcome back to my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. I'm Carly and today we are going to be talking about Anthurium Clarinervium. I recently acquired one and I've been taking care of it for a month or two now, and I want to share exactly how I'm taking care of it and whether or not it's thriving or dying. So go ahead and stay tuned and we'll get right into it.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time?
Okay guys, Anthurium Clarinervium. So, I call them Claries, but Clarinervium is the proper word for them. And I really have been enjoying mine. I have it right here. And it's doing really well. It's got a little leaf coming in right here, if you can see that. And it's doing really well. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this beautiful plant. Okay, so Anthurium Clarinervium is an epiphytic climbing plant. It does grow on trees. The bulbs typically go into little pockets in the tree and hang there, and then the plant will grow. They have beautiful leaves with beautiful veining, as you saw. They have a beautiful sheen to them. Very sparkly, very gorgeous. The veining is very pronounced. And I don't know if you can see the back of the leaf very well, but we'll try. The back of the leaf is also extremely sheened and shiny and just beautiful. They are very leathery type leaves. They look very thin and they feel thin, but yet they're very leathery and feel like they're very durable. These plants are found in Central America, South America, and southeastern Mexico. They can also be found in the Caribbeans. They're gorgeous plants and obviously prefer very tropical areas. These plants do like to be on the warmer side. They like to be somewhere in the low 80s to mid 70s, and they do require some humidity. I wouldn't recommend going any lower than 60% humidity with these guys. This one is living in my Millsbo where it gets lots of humidity. It's in the 80% usually in my Millsbo cabinet and seems to be doing really, really well. You can pot this plant up in several different substrates. I have seen them in leca and pon. I personally am using sphagnum moss. So you can see it's just in pure sphagnum moss, and it's doing absolutely wonderfully with that. I do water the moss when it's feeling a little crunchy, and you can see very easily if I just watered this morning, but you can see very easily whether or not there's water in the pot. I do recommend using a clear pot if you're using sphagnum moss. It's just easier to keep track of the water level and the roots. If you want to plant this plant in soil, I recommend something very well draining. These plants do like to stay moist. If it's in soil, I would not recommend more than the 1 to 2 top inches being dry before watering this plant. Definitely don't let it sit soggy. Let it thoroughly drain and then just place it back wherever it goes. Any standard potting mix or peat mix with lots of bark and perlite or pumice, maybe some charcoal for aeration in there. You can even throw some leca balls or pon in there if you really want to, just to really aerate that soil and give it a nice chunky, well-draining mix, and it'll be just fine like that. As far as light goes, they definitely like a medium to bright light. No direct light for these babies. They will burn very easily. While the leaves feel very durable and leathery, they're still quite delicate and they will burn with direct sunlight. I have not experimented with giving this any direct eastern light, which is usually what I will do if a plant likes some bright light, because some nice soft morning light from an eastern window usually does most plants just fine. But since there was so many stringent warnings when I was looking up the care of this plant to not have direct light on the foliage, I decided it was in its best interest just to continue to use a grow light and keep it away from a window. And that is what I have been doing. As I said, it's in my Millsbo with the grow light, and it's doing just fine with that. These plants, since they like to be a little bit more moist than others, do require some really good air circulation. Not having air circulation and just having stagnant, warm, humid air invites mold, fungus, bacteria, and insects. pests of sorts. So absolutely make sure that wherever you have this plant, there is some good airflow. There's a fan, there's opened windows that will have a cross breeze. You just don't want it sitting stagnant in the air because of the moisture level this plant requires. It will start to mold and get fungus. So absolutely don't forget that air circulation. It's important. Anthurium clarinerviums do like to be repotted before they become root bound. If you see any little roots coming out of the bottom of your pot or anything like that, it's probably due for a repot, and just use whatever medium it was already thriving in and you should be just fine. Anthurium clarinerviums are susceptible to a few different kinds of bugs. Spider mites are really popular on anthuriums, as well as aphids and thrips. So absolutely go ahead and treat your plant regularly. I use a neem oil solution that I will put somewhere on the screen here for you, and that works just fine. I've had absolutely no pest issues thus far with this plant. Keeping it out of soil will somewhat lower your chances to get pests, but it's not a fail-safe. You can still get pests no matter what kind of medium that you use. So I highly recommend checking your plant often, treating it with preventative maintenance often, and then if you get any pests, trying to get rid of them as quickly as you can so your plant doesn't experience too much damage. Anthurium clarinerviums are generally slow-growing plants, so do not be shocked if they are not putting out new leaves for you like this. You know, sometimes you'll get a really good one that will pump some leaves out a little bit faster than others, but it is not uncommon to get a new leaf and then lose an old leaf, and it's not uncommon for it to take a long time for new leaves to produce. So definitely don't give up on this plant. It is a little bit more slow-growing, even with the humidity, the light, and the warmth. So definitely don't feel like you're doing something wrong. They are a little bit on the slower side. I know with the needing extra humidity and the humidity needing to be a little bit higher, it is extremely tempting to mist your anthuriums. But in general, anthuriums do not really like being misted. You will create fungus on the leaves. And the problem with misting your clarinerviums really often is that it's already supposed to be in a humid environment. So that water will not evaporate, but more than likely will just stay on the leaf hanging there. And that invites stains, bugs, water spots, that's the word I'm looking for, not stains, water spots. And it will cause fungus and bacteria as well. So try and refrain from misting your anthurium. I typically don't do that. I just water the pot thoroughly. Having a wet medium plus whatever cabinet or humidifier you have next to it is going to keep the plant plenty humid. Misting really shouldn't be required on top of all of that. And that is my Anthurium clarinervium. Let's go ahead and take one more look at it. This leaf did come torn. But it's a beautiful plant, guys. I highly recommend. I was a little nervous to get into anthuriums because they seemed like they were such high maintenance plants to me. But honestly, this has not been a chore at all. I water when the sphagnum's dry, treat it for pests every 1 to 2 weeks, more like every 2 weeks. And I've had no issues whatsoever. It's a very beautiful plant. It gives me a lot of joy. It's easy to maintain, and I highly, highly recommend. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. I did get this plant from Plant Hoarders LLC on Instagram. She sells anthuriums at bonkers great prices. Like, her prices are so reasonable. She's absolutely great. I got this Clarinervium, I believe, for like $50, and it was the 3 leaves when I got it. It was extremely well rooted and established, and I could not recommend her more. I will link her Instagram down below. She puts plants up for sale almost every day that she imports in, and they're healthy, they're beautiful, and she sells them, like I said, at extremely reasonable prices. I can't possibly recommend her enough, so definitely go check her out. If you don't check me out on Instagram, go check her out if you're looking into anthuriums or philodendrons, and she does sometimes sell Hoyas too at reasonable prices, guys, like really crazy. So definitely go check her out. Definitely leave me a comment down below. Do you have any anthuriums? Are you into anthuriums? Did this video help you? Is there something that you wish I had gone over that you would like me to go over in another video? Definitely hit me up down below. And like I said, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My link tree is down below, which also has my Amazon storefront. So if you're interested in the pots I have this in and the little saucers I'm using for the pot, I have those linked right in my in my Amazon storefront under plant supplies, I believe. So definitely check that out. I highly recommend these pots. They're really good and durable and thick. And I really hope you guys give me a thumbs up on this video and subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Go and have some great quality time with your plant babies today. See you in the next one.